What's going on, drone pilots, and welcome to the video. Nick Corona here, and today we're going to be talking about drone batteries, specifically flying them in high heat. I'm going to be using the Mavic 2, but this definitely applies to all drones across the board, especially if you're in a really hot region. I'm here in Arizona, but I also have some experience in the Midwest, so we'll talk about that a little bit too. This is really important for a few reasons, and the very first reason is just a safety concern because this will cause your drone to completely fall out of the sky. It won't just have reduced battery life or anything like that, because the main issue with the DJI batteries when they start to go bad is they get really fat, as you can see here. I have a brand new battery, and right here I have a ruined one from the heat. And as you can see, there is an extreme difference. This one's bulging. You can even see it in the sticker. I mean, you can feel it right away, but it's the bottom of the battery that bulges, making it hard to even put it in the drone. I can't even just press it in. And if I force it in, you can kind of see there's a little ledge right here where the battery is just ready to pop out. And as soon as you hit the tabs on the side, it pretty much ejects. And this battery is not even hot right now. This is just one of my ones that went bad. Now, just to kind of put in perspective, how many flights are you gonna get out of a battery? Well, I got 93 out of this one. It's in my worst condition out of all of them. This one also has recently started to become fat to the point where I'm not comfortable using it in the drone. As soon as I can feel the pressure of it popping out or see it physically, I recommend not flying it anymore because there's nothing worse than your drone falling out of the sky. You're gonna lose it, you could really hurt someone, so this is definitely something to pay attention to, and once again, it is very noticeable. There is no big change in performance though. My fat battery will make the drone fly just as long and just as fast as another battery, so it's something you really have to look out for. They can also become fire hazards, and the worst of all, these batteries are crazy expensive. It's $162 after tax for one of these batteries. So you definitely don't want to just be out here destroying them. And guys, be sure to stay to the end of this video so I can unveil to you a new accessory that I'm currently developing to go on the drone and hopefully completely eliminate or extremely reduce the chances of this happening. Because it's over 100 every day out here in Arizona, and it does stink to just not be able to fly during the day for months. So I'm going to talk to you guys at the end of this video about what I'm going to do to attempt to overcome that. But first, I just kind of want to talk to you guys about what you can do to avoid this issue. And the first and most obvious one is check temperatures. I have found that if it's over 100, that is a very hard threshold. I flew my drone quite a bit in Georgia with high humidity, and 98 degrees. I even have a video you can go back and look at, and I honestly never had any issues. The first time I flew this thing on a 110 degree day out here in the desert, it just started destroying my batteries. So once again, to put it into perspective of how important the heat is, and I'm learning this from experience because this battery is ruined with 93 charges. And just to put that in perspective, DJI's battery warranties it for 6 months and 200 charges, which right off the bat I'll say is crazy. If you can charge it 200 times in 6 months, that's a lot of flying. I mean, maybe if you only have one battery, but if you got the Fly More kit, getting 200 charges on one battery, it's a ton in a 6-month period. You'd be flying multiple times a day. There's a few other things you can do to help maintain your batteries. One of them is with a lithium polymer battery, you typically want to keep it between 20 and 80% to maintain its health. When I first bought my drone, these things would just stay charged for a long time. But about a year ago, they started adding an auto discharge feature to the batteries through an update because they are intelligent batteries. They self-balance inside when they charge. and now they even discharge themselves. So they're very advanced. That's why they cost as much as they do. The auto discharge is nice, and the whole point of it is because you don't want to store these batteries at 0. It'll completely ruin them to be dead, and you don't necessarily want to store them at 100. You kind of want to aim for 20 to 80%. So the auto discharge is usually about 5 days, which you want to keep in mind, because I can't tell you how many times I've went to go fly and forgot it's been 4 or 5 days, and now all your batteries are at like 60 and 70%. But it is for the longevity of them. Something to keep in mind when you're thinking about the importance of this, the whole Fly More kit with the 2 zoom is about $1,400. It's $1,350 at Best Buy. And with these batteries being about $160 each, that's about almost $500, which ends up being about a third of the cost. So this is really important, and you don't want to be buying this drone and then just having to buy new batteries. It's terrible, especially when you're only getting 90 flights out of it and you expect to get well over 200. This one got ruined at 93. This one got ruined at 75. Now, 2 different scenarios here, and you can kind of see 2 different levels of fatness here. Here's one that's completely new. You can see the back of it is completely flat. Then here's the next one where you can see it's starting to bulge out. And then here's like a completely destroyed battery. And the thing is, they still work. You can use them for a power bank. If you guys get the Fly More kit, it comes with this awesome little adapter that I frankly use all the time, especially when traveling. And it just allows you to plug in right here and then turn the battery on, and you can just use it as a straight up power bank. It's great for charging your phone. And even when the battery is fat, you can still get this on it. It doesn't fit as comfortably, but it works, and that's what I've been using my ruined batteries for, is I just kind of retire them as power banks. But it's also not necessarily the best idea, because the battery is slightly damaged at this point, and it does kind of become a fire hazard. So keep that in mind. You're best off contacting DJI and seeing if you can take them up on their warranty if you're within 6 months and less than 200 charges. Outside of that, I would still hit them up, because they have really good customer support, and they might give you a coupon or a discount or something. Otherwise, you're going to be off to Best Buy just buying new batteries and having old fat ones around. Now, the way that this one got ruined at 75 charges was actually a little bit different than the way, my one with 93 got ruined. This one got ruined on a hot flight. I went out and flew it in the summer, and when it came back, the battery was practically popping out of it. Crap. Then I had it in my trunk for a few hot days, and that was enough to ruin this battery, which had already flown in some moderate temperatures, but nothing to ruin it. But then putting it in the hot trunk completely ruined it. So, these batteries, guys, are just really sensitive to hot temperatures. Basically, there's 2 things you want to avoid: extremely hot temperatures at once, going out and flying in the heat, plus the battery's generating heat because it's being used, or just keeping it in high concentrations of heat for a long period of time, like in your trunk for days. After being used, these were with it and they're fine, but these batteries just get stressed easily. So, make sure that you're keeping them in a cool environment, and also, you want them to be in a nice neutral environment, not like, don't stick them in front of your air conditioner. I don't want you to get condensation on them. It's just that they can't really handle temperatures of over 100 degrees for extended amounts of time. So that's the main reason I'm making this video today, guys, is just to let you know what you can do to make your batteries last longer, and to please avoid your drone falling out of the sky. The more we can all fly without incidences, the faster drone laws get better, and we all have more fun. Now, like I promised, I have a really cool project that I'm working on to eliminate this problem entirely. It's currently in an AutoCAD state, and I'm printing, test prints. It's going to be maybe all 3D printed, maybe partially 3D printed. But my essential idea is, if I can just get the battery out of direct sunlight, it will just greatly reduce the amount of heat on it. If any of you have been to the desert, you know that it is phenomenally cooler in the shade. So my goal is to create something that essentially looks like a kite or an umbrella that's going to go over the top of the drone, with the main goal of just creating shade on the battery. Literally something to catch the sun before it hits the battery. Now my goal with this is to make it a slightly aggressive, forward sloped airfoil design, with hopes that if I'm cruising at a nice angle of attack and a fast speed, that maybe it'll produce a little bit of lift even, maybe help the drone out when you're cruising around. But ultimately for it to be very aerodynamic and not create any drag or negatively affect the drone's performance. I haven't really seen anything like this, but it would be an absolute game changer. I know people use drones like this a lot for fishing in Florida or coastal areas, California. I know you guys are ruining batteries. You're probably flying and bringing it back as quick as you can and putting it in the shade. We really need something to help increase battery life. Big shout out to Sarah Gordo Mine. I absolutely love Ghost Town Living. It is the coolest channel ever, and it kind of inspired me to pick this project back up because that guy uses his drone all the time. He's in a hotter place than I am, and I know this is causing him issues. So I'm gonna go ahead and, maybe make the next video kind of wrapping up this project and show you guys some actual physical 3D prints of it. If you're more interested, it might be something you can eventually get and I'll make available. But I wanna make it and send it to this dude and allow him to fly his drone more in the desert. If you guys have any cool ideas for what we can do to reduce heat on our batteries and allow us to fly in the heat, I would love to hear below. Definitely let me know. That's really all for today, guys. I just wanted to talk to you about the intelligent flight battery for the Mavic 2 since it's such a huge part of flying. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please consider subscribing. Until next time, peace.